Hey, Yithian! How's it going? Japan was amazing. It was it lived up to my expectations. People were like so kind and everything was so well organized and um, getting used to the culture didn't wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. Because everybody was like super nice and there were a lot of instructions for us to follow, so that was kind of nice. Thanks. I have like 5 bazillion pictures and videos and stuff, but obviously I couldn't post them all, so I made a small selection. But yeah, it's such a really photogenic country. It's You can really tell, like, I feel from what was explained to us, like it's a really I feel like it would be a very hard culture to live in, just because like the pressure to do well is so immense. But it also means that like everything is organized to a T, and like everything is really neat, and all the gardens are like perfectly maintained and stuff, from what we saw anyway. Um, and yeah, it just everything like looked amazing. Really, like it was so funny because I used to watch a lot of Ghibli movies, and every like just like a shed that you saw, it's like, oh yeah, I've seen something like this in the movies, like in a background. You can really see the textures that he or that the studio drives or draws inspiration from. So yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, I did my best to like get into the Ghibli Museum. But those tickets, it's like in Tokyo, but those tickets go like on sale for the next month, on the 10th of that month. So like on the 10th of April, they sell all the tickets for May. And sales start at like 2 a.m., like 2 at night. So and that was like in the period that my grandma was in the hospital and stuff. So I was like, I am not going to stay up until 2 a.m. to, or wake up at 2 a.m. to actually get those tickets. So I tried in the afternoon, but then I was still in the queue with like 6,500 people to get a ticket. So yeah, that didn't work out. Somebody that we met on the trip actually did manage to hold on, people. What are we doing? There we go. Actually did manage to get a ticket, so we were insanely jealous of her. But she did wake up at 3 a.m. to actually buy the ticket, and that was stressful for her too, from what I heard. So, but yeah, we went to like a tiny Ghibli shop in Kyoto. To Well, not to make up for it, because we discovered it by accident. We were like walking in the neighborhood at night, and then we like saw. I think we saw like the huge Totoro plushie or something, and then I was like, wait, what is this? And it turned out to be a shop, so I was like, oh, we have to come back when it's open. So we did. So that was a happy accident. So how have you been? Have you had a break these couple of weeks, or have you just been working? Oh, if I'm fumbling around a bit, by the way, I've been annoyed at my computer because it's been acting up, so I lost some shortcuts with the backup and that kind of stuff. So That's me. Today. Oh. Oof, solo dadding. You didn't want to come with to Taylor Swift concert and leave the kids with somebody else. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, that makes it tough. You don't want to risk those. A Swiftie from afar. I think she'll appreciate you just as much from afar. Actually, the girl that we met, that did go to the Ghibli Museum, she was actually also a Swiftie. She was like, we ended up like taking the same bus to our next destination, from Tokyo, and she was like actually sitting there, because, I think so she's doing concerts right now, but then every time she does a concert, there's like a new song that she premieres or something. Is that right? Well, anyway, she was listening to the concert to just to get some new song that she hadn't heard yet or something. That's dedication right there. I think Japan was actually a better time zone for her than Europe was. Let's see, because because I think that was like, at that point it was like last night for the States. And then it was already day for Japan. And for us it would be like super early morning. So it actually turned out all right for her. I had expected to like get really used to inking again or like drawing again, because I barely did any drawing for like a month, but I'm actually okay with how this is going. I'm glad I'm able to provide you some entertainment from home then, Yadin. Without the crowds. But yeah, it's been nice to be home again too, honestly. Just like some quiet time again. Have you played Zelda yet? I got back and I was able to start playing. And I love it so far, but our Switch has drifting. So now I have to send it over again. So taking that kind of break from Darn feel like a step back. Yes. I feel like, especially with like sketching, I really need to like warm up. You know, because it's like a skill. It's, you know, so you have to like get into it again. But so far, you know, I did some storyboarding this morning for the new Netherrealms scene. So I feel like maybe I already got like a tiny bit of exercise in that regard. But other than that, I basically like, I don't really draw on my travels just because I'm like busy taking in all the sights and stuff, and I rarely wanna like stop to sit because there's just like so much more to see, and drawing takes so long. Yeah, it's so cool. Like, it's so cool to see all the like all the throwbacks to Breath of the Wild. Cause like I was playing and my husband came walking in and he said like, "Hey, I know this place." And I was in, where was I? Well, Karakino Village, I think. So I was like, yeah, this is like the exact same. You know, they kept it the same. It's so cool. Same but different. Have you gotten far yet? Or have you just started? Or have you finished it yet? Already, I mean. Oh yeah. That was always so like when I was still like working with a bunch of colleagues. I had one person sitting next to me who was a dad. So whenever a new game came out, you could really tell the difference between like people who did have kids and people who didn't have kids. Because the people who didn't have kids would have like new updates every night, like, oh, I did this, and then the other people with kids would be like, I have not had the time to play this shit. So yeah, I can imagine what you're going through. I can't say I understand because I don't have kids, but I can imagine from all the stories that I've heard from my fellow gamers with kids. Yeah, that's true. They definitely give off a Ghibli vibe. I think it's like the really vibrant colors, the greens especially. But also I think like the quaintness of it all, right? It's so. I also said like the voiceovers to Japanese, just to like stay in the vibe a bit, but also because, you know, that's the way it was intended, right? And I like Zelda's voice a lot more in Japanese than in English. But yeah, that was I totally get the reference. Like, I totally get the connection. It's so funny too because we were like walking around, you know, in Japan and stuff, and it's so funny how a bunch of stuff that like we would consider like really nerdy here in like the West was totally mainstream in Japan. So like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! They still like played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! It seemed. I don't know if that's ever been a thing in the state, but oh gosh, what was I've seen Laputa and now I can't really Laputa. What did it look like again? Oh yeah. Have I seen this? I think so. Can't remember the story that well. Time for a rewatch, obviously. Yeah, they still do. You like seriously? We went into like a manga shop, and they still had like you know those you know all those tables where they like play each other. There were like tables and tables, and they weren't all full, but it was like on a weekday. In the middle of the day, you know, so like everybody was working, obviously. But there were still some people playing, so I think it would be like a lot busier on the weekend, you know, on a Saturday or Sunday or something. So yeah, and there were like, we came across numerous shops where they like still had cards and stuff. You know, somebody who actually lives in Japan might come in here and like contradict me, like, no, that's definitely for nerds. But let me say, like, it was a lot more visible there than it was for us here in Holland. In any case. But yeah, there were like still all kinds of like Pokemon stuffed animals too, and like they have these arcades where you have like all these kinds of not slot machines too, but then they have like the grippy arm things where it's like impossible to pick up something because the arm is like really weak. They have a lot of those, and a lot of them had Pokemon stuffed animals, like a lot. So yeah, that was fun. That was like total nostalgia for me because that stuff is not really on much on our radar here anymore, I think. Yeah, it was, oh my god. It's like, I feel like Japan is like such a juxtaposition between super cute, but also like super elegant, you know, like everything from the Edo period. Everything is so refined and full of like tradition and rituals and protocol, I guess. But then there's also like the super hyped up cutesy stuff, which is like everywhere. Like we were on at the train station, and then somebody came by with what we were guessing was like a trash can cart, to like empty the trash cans. But it had, it was like, it had this kind of like music coming out of it, like do 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 do. It was like super cute. It was like, why does a trash cart need some music? But in Japan it does. So yeah, it's an amazing country. Like, I don't know if you ever plan on going, but I can definitely, if you've been like on the fence, then I can definitely recommend. It was amazing. A very fun experience. Like, everybody was so kind. And like, the food was so good everywhere. But then also like super well portioned. Like, every time we went to a restaurant and then we got like our meal, we were like, I don't know if I'm gonna be like full after this. It might be a little bit, small. And then we had it and it was like, oh, this is perfect. I am like 99% full, but not too full. So I don't know how they do it, but they do it really well. Hey, Nika, how's it going? Have you recovered yet? Cool. How was Japan? I will not repeat myself again, but in the sense that wait, let me what else can I tell? Let's see. I use this this app called Polar Steps to like keep track of the journey. So I have like a little map with all the stuff that we've seen and pictures and a little text about like every step that I decided to keep track of, and so I can just look through that. So this is all the stuff that we saw. Hold on. Dude. There we go. Well, a bunch. Like I told Yathina like some of the highlights, but I feel. Oh, we played this game in the arcade, which was like so much fun. This drum game. It's like it's it's like not Dance and Dance, but like. Yeah, Dance Dance Revolution, but with drums. It's so cool. It was so much fun. Yeah, it was like you have to like either hit the edge or hit the middle based on like the color of the dot that you get. And then it also says like, like drum it like or just do one, or just or do like a really loud one or a soft one and stuff. So that was, yeah, a lot of fun. And we went to like a bunch of shrines. I know, if you get them, like a lot of the rhythm that we tried to get in there was kind of difficult because there was like a lot of noise going on at the same time, like all the slot machines and all the, like 50 slot machines going off at the same time. That's you know, that was like the sound that we were kind of like drumming to on top of trying to play the game. But yeah. What else? Team Labs was like unreal. I don't know if you've like if you know what it is. Hold on, let me. Dude. It's like an interactive museum, and you walk in, and it's like, and so this is the stuff that we like saw, which was pretty amazing. It's like you're standing in like the middle of a galaxy. It's called Team Labs Planet. No, Planet Team Labs. Team Labs Planets. Yes. And it's like an interactive thing where you know, like here we were standing in water, and they were like doing video mapping on the water with like fish and stuff. So that was super cool. One of the highlights of Tokyo, in my opinion. And yeah, it was just like such an amazing experience to like see all my childhood aesthetic, you know, like all the things that I aspired to when I was a teen, suddenly like happening before my eyes. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's an app. It's called Polar Steps. And you can just like it also like I like to just turn on tracking whenever we travel, so it like keeps like an automatic map of where you've been, and then sometimes based on like if you have like locations turned on for your pictures, it can like suggest photos to add for that location. But I like to do it like manually because I think, you know, it just keeps it cleaner that way. But it's a lot of fun. Like I've been keeping track of travel since, let's see, my earliest is, well, the earliest is like 2017, but I started using it for our trip to the States in 2017. And it's been like wrong thingamajigger. Where is it? There. I wanted the chat. But yeah. Can recommend Japan. Can recommend Polar Steps. But yeah, good luck on your test. Like, do you have a good feeling about it? Yeah, it was definitely nice to step away for a bit. It was so, like, cathartic to, or like cathartic, I don't know. It was so, I don't know. I was really um, what's the saying? I needed it, basically, to get away for a while. So that was really nice. Oof. Yeah, it definitely felt like a reset for a bit. I was also saying to Yasin that, like, I didn't draw for, like, the whole month that I was gone, basically. I did one drawing just because I got inspired by, like, where were we? And, like, in kind of, like, this really small city, basically. We, like, wandered into some kind of, like, artsy, craftsy little shop. They had some really great flower installations, I guess. Like, little things to hang on the wall. So I kind of, like, drew my version of that when we got back to the hotel. Yeah, I mean, unpaid tests, like, I really hope that it pays off for you. I'm so over unpaid tests. Do you know when you're getting a response from them? All right. I guess but that's me, right? Like, I just want to know when I can expect something. Not really like that I need an answer now. It's just I want to know if it's going to be, like, next week or in a couple days or that kind of stuff. I mean, you can always still ask. Like, it's not like you don't have an opportunity for that anymore. You can always just say, like, hey, thank you for responding. Do you have any idea when I can expect a word back? You're a more patient person than I am. Let's keep it at that. Right? That's what I think too. Like, it's really, like, it's not like you're demanding an answer now. It's just more like, when do you think you'll have an answer for me, just so I know. That's what I always do. You know, like, whenever I'm not, you know, when I'm, like, waiting for an answer, I'm just gonna be like, hey, I understand you don't have an answer for me right now, but do you know when you will have an answer for me? just so I can like let it go for, I don't know, however long it takes, and not think about it until then. It's not an aggressive question either. It's not even like, hey, give me an answer now. It's just like, hey, please let me know. Okay. I mean, like, if your June is hectic, then I would say like it would be nice to know when they respond, just so you can like anticipate. It's not like they have to respond tomorrow. It's like they could say like, oh, it'll take till June, and you'll be like, okay, but whatever. I'm not like trying to lecture you. I'm just like, I don't know, giving you my point of view, I guess. Do with it what you will. That's just me. That's just how I like to handle things nowadays, because that used to be very different for me when I was younger. All right, well, as long as, you know, you feel like you're free to ask, then there's no harm, no foul. Oh, you know what also, like, shocked me? Here, you know, if you want to, like, buy, like, one book of manga, you pay, like, I don't know, like, 14 euros. And in Japan, they were, like, 400 yen, which is, like, 6 euros? 400... No. Wait. 300 is 2 euros. No, so there were like, I don't know, 350 or something. 350 for something that we pay like 14 euros for here in Europe. Jeez. Already? Oh, well, I guess it kind of has. Okay, hold on. My computer's telling me to take a break, so I will take a break. And I'll be back in a couple of minutes. You guys talk about Beacon Pines in the meantime. And tell me what it is, because I have no idea. Alright, what did I miss? Ah, you at the end? You're so great. Hold on, let me look up. Where is it? Beacon Pines. Oh, I know this. Didn't you? Oh, wait. Ah. Gosh. I'm letting you, hold on. Let me close this off because I keep accidentally opening my private chats. There we go. But Nika, didn't you work on this too? Like, I think I saw you posted something about this. It's kind of cool. Like, so somebody asked me a couple days ago, like, how did you like get into the business or whatever? Like, and it was like, I don't think break into, because they use the words like break into the business. And I was like, I don't think like a lot of people actually break into anything. It's more like a slow burn of like seeing things accidentally and getting to know people and you know, like seeing things via. See, that's what we like to hear. Studios that are nice to work with. I wonder if they're gonna like take it to heart, because I know, I think we talked about that before, right? Where, you know, sometimes you get like advice, but then it doesn't really like hit home until like years later when you're hearing it again from like a slightly different perspective or something. So any time now that I like say things like that, I'm always wondering, like, I wonder if this is like the way, if I'm phrasing it in a way that it'll like hit home for them. His nose is a little crooked. I finally got to pet a dachshund while we were in Japan. We went to like a puppy cafe. So many puppies. We wanted to take them all home. Yeah, they have like cat cafes and puppy cafes. They also had otter cafes, but we didn't go into those. We also came across one. We didn't go in. They had like a Shiba cafe, which was like all Shibas apparently. So you go in, and then you can buy food for them, and you have drinks for yourself or whatever, and then you can just pet them if you want. We made the mistake of not getting food, because obviously they were more interested in the people with food. So next time, if anybody ever wants to go there, I would definitely advise them just shill for the food, just do it. But we did get to. I had there was one Boston Terrier who actually came to sit next to me, and actually I had my arm wrapped around him and could pat his or her chest. So that was really nice and cuddly. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Actually, the one picture that's on my Patreon, with the purple with me petting a small dog, that's in the puppy cafe. That was one of definitely on my to-do list. So I tried to look them up, but I couldn't really find. I couldn't really make a good estimation on if they were good cafes or bad, So, but then we came across one and we just walked in, and it's super spontaneous, really fun. Oh man, good luck with your business plan. Oh, you mean or do you mean? Wait, is this a business thing, or or are you opening a puppy cafe where you live? Actually, that's a great idea. Holy moly. I wonder if we have any here. I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, that would be a really cool business. All right, will you be my business partner, Nika? At least you have more experience with dogs than I do. I just love them. But I can't claim super duper much experience with them. Starve ourselves with puppies. All right, that will be our backup plan. If not art, then a puppy cafe. Oh yeah, that's true, because everybody loves puppies, so we'll be rich. That's true. There we go. That's a career switch I can get behind. You know, every time I draw FX lines, I have to think of my comics teacher. She was so on me with the FX lines, and I'm really bad at them, and she was like trying to teach me how to do better. Oh, did I tell you that? So the next scene 27, is like 27 pages. Jeez Louise. I really have to start dividing them up into chunks, because I don't think I'll be able to concentrate on inking 27 pages straight. What happens to the puppies when they are small and cute? They get taken home by us, probably. You know, I'm actually not with the puppy cafe that we went to. See, exactly. The puppy cafe that we went to actually had like tons of small breeds, so it was called a puppy cafe. But I think a lot of them were like 3 years old or something. There were like mini poodles and dachshunds, and so like a Boston Terrier. What else? Mini poodles, dachshunds, like Pomeranians and stuff, you know. Those kinds of dogs that just like stay super small. So it's a puppy cafe, but it's actually a dog cafe. Basically, for those anyway. I'm not sure, like, I'm not sure how tight the like the checks are on those kinds of places, in terms of like that there might be like more awful places that actually don't treat the dogs right. But you know, if we didn't have a feeling that the dogs were like treated okay at that place, we would have walked away. That's why we didn't go into like the otter places and stuff, because that just feels like they're, you know, wild animals. So I'm not sure if they should be petted by tons of people. Oh, I love that. Like old dogs who are still puppies at heart. It's the best. Also, hi Rick, welcome. Thanks for joining. Honestly, there were some puppy pads in that place. So, and they were cleaning up messes. So either puppies were making messes, or those dogs were not house trained. Good morning. That was so funky for us in Japan, being like, because I think my mother-in-law at one point said like, oh, you have 3 more days left in Japan, and we were like, nope, 2, because you know our day, you're like, your day just started, but our day is almost done already. Like, we're having dinner soon. So that was really funky, being so far ahead of people. How's your comic project coming along, Rick? Are you still working on it? Or have you put it on the back burner for now? You know, I just thought of this. If we ever get a dog, I'm gonna like turn on the webcam and like have a puppy cam. Because I don't like being on screen while I draw, but I will definitely showcase the dog. I should definitely get a dog tomorrow morning. I don't know if I will, but I would definitely like to. Wait, killer pants? What are killer pants? You made them like you actually physically made them? Oh. Manga style pants, like I'm having a really hard time like envisioning what are specifically manga style pants. Except for if they're like really like a really outlandish design or something. By the way, like I've missed like everything that's happened on Twitter or Discord or whatever for the past month. So any memes that came by or like were created in this time span, I have no idea what they are. One bad noodle. Hold on. Let me look it up because now I wanna. One bad noodle. Twitter. Oh! Okay. Hold on. Let me show it to everybody for you to see. That's pretty cool. Are you happy with like how they ended up in your version? At least I take it that these are them, right? That's pretty cool. Oh, that's some tight planning, Rick. As in, like, for I never have like such tight planning for my my hobby project. At least it has to be a hobby project, right? Yeah. Show me when you're done, because I'm curious to see it now. You missed it. So, Nika, how did... What was the misunderstanding? How did it happen? Was it like the... You know what we always like... what I always hate? When like the days and the months get turned around, just because like Europeans put the days first and people from the States put months first. Oh gosh. Yeah, that sucks. Are they okay? Are you guys going to reschedule? Mostly out of spite. Those stupid Europeans. How dare they? We'll just do it our own way. Hold on, they didn't have... Oh, today's Tuesday, right. Well, I mean, did you drop the ball? Or did, like, nobody, like, dropped the ball, sounds like. Sounds like you just had a misunderstanding. But I get it. It feels sucky. Like, it does. But if they're okay with, like, rescheduling, then try not to be too hard on yourself. Okay, like, I'm totally like having an image right now of like the States personalized as a little kid having a tantrum. Oh, that kind of appointment. That sucks. Well, I mean, driving on the right side of the road is fine with me. Like, that's what we do, too. So, like, because in that case, all of the UK is just being a weirdo. Because people from the UK are the only ones, I think, in Europe who still drive left. and Japan. Japan also drives on the left. That's I didn't know that, but that's what I found out. Even so, like getting to work on time in Japan is super important, right? Obviously. So in the subway, they have like directions for you on which side to walk, so you don't like get in the way of each other. So that was kind of wild. Where our guide, like we had a guide for the first day, just to like tell us a bit more about Japanese culture and show us the subway system and that kind of stuff. And he was like, please make sure that you're walking on the right side, so on the left side of the hallway, because getting in people's way is so freaking frowned upon. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Then again, I think it might just be a Tokyo thing, because I think in other cities we noticed people were a bit more lax about it and stuff. Maybe that's another big reason why they want like a lot of foreigners to take trains instead of drive, because otherwise you'd have to get used to driving on the left. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I already like knew like a few words just from like visiting or from like watching anime and manga, obviously. You know what the easiest one was though? The Japanese word for chicken is chicken. So we had a good laugh when we saw that one. But yeah, like I think our most used word was now I've forgotten, of course. Arigato gozaimasu, which is like thank you. And I always thought like arigato was enough, but apparently like the polite way to say it is like arigato gozaimasu. And then the phrase after that we used the most was sumimasen, which means like pardon me, because they say it so much over there. It's like, well, first of all, when you want like attention from someone like in a restaurant, then you say like sumimasen. But it's also like whenever you're like, I'm sorry to bother you, or oh excuse me, or whatever, or I don't know, they apologize for so much in that country. Which was like nice in the sense that like people were really kind and stuff. But we were way more apologetic ourselves being there than that we normally are here in Holland back home. But actually, so one thing that happened, we were like standing in like an old farmhouse, like 400 years old or whatever, and they were built in a special way. And so we were like waiting to climb up some stairs, but we thought there was like a whole floor above it, but actually it was just like kind of like a viewing perch, but like from the inside. So you had to like climb up the stairs, look around, and then go back down again directly to let new people in. And we didn't realize that. So like two Japanese women were like standing there and not really paying attention. So I was like, I'm not sure if they're like, are they like just standing there and not walking anywhere? So I asked them, like, are you going up? And they said, yes, we're going up. And then she looked at her friend, like the one woman, and she said something like, oh yeah, I think she said like, "Jotamate kudasai," which, my accent is like all wrong, but it basically means like, geez, please wait, And so I understood it, and she hadn't expected it. So I went like, oh, sumimasen. And she was like, oh crap, she understood me. So that was kind of like pleasing, but embarrassing for her, I take it. But then I'm not a big enough person to like let that slide and pretend I didn't hear, I guess. Exactly. Mate, like I got from watching anime. But yeah, that was like mildly pleasing that I could actually like sometimes understand what people were trying to say. Just from all the series that I've watched in Japanese. I guess that's why I like watching subtitle too. Nothing. It's just 30 centimeters. We don't use feet. It's just like it's centimeters or millimeters and then meters and then kilometers. All right, thank you. Thanks for like dropping by, Nika. And like good luck with everything if we don't talk like soon. And I'll see you later. And it's good to be back. I'm still thinking about like the foot and meter thing. I guess the difference is that like our in between measurement for like really small or really big is meters, not feet. So where you have like square footage in a home, we have square meters. You know, which is why I guess it's so weird for people to like hear people from the States measure in feet, because it's like it's a size unit that I use it in the sense that I know it's like roughly the length of an A4 paper, which is like a standard, like a super standard paper size in the EU. Actually it's 27 by 21, but still, you know. But we don't really measure things in that order of size, I guess. Otherwise we say it's 2 A4s. But that's mostly like surface area. Oh, a yard is a meter? Is it like exactly a meter, or is it an approximation of a meter? Right. I guess, you know, for like anything in between, like a doorpost or whatever, if you have to like give a size for like the width of a door, we just go like that's 90 centimeters instead of 3 feet. Oh yeah, so that's I guess that's about 90 centimeters. Because like 27 a feet is 27 centimeters, I think. Right? Foot and centimeters. 30.48. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, 3.2 feet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we just say it in centimeters instead of feet. Because that's... Wait, so there's... A yard is 3 feet. Yeah, okay. So there's like no decimal system. I guess that's what I wouldn't really like about it, because there's no easy way to like just say like, oh, it's 10 meters, so it's 100 centimeters. No, it's 10 feet, so that means it's like, or what if it's like 19 yards? That would mean 19 times 3. I don't know what that is. Oh, 60, 57. So 57 feet. Exactly! Exactly, divided by 3 or 12. Wait, what's divided by 12? Inches? I'm learning so much from you guys. And 12 inches is a foot. I take it. 12. Yeah, that makes sense. 12 times. Yeah. I have to like convert it. I have to convert it into like centimeters in my head, and then, try and convert that to the equivalent of what I know a foot is in centimeters. Oh yeah, that I think that also like weirds me out too. That there's like a mile is not really a nice amount of feet. Do you guys know the metric system though? Like, oh yeah, because you just said you use it. Yeah, honestly, like for me, the math only gets like hard when you have to like convert. When is it again? When you have to like convert cubic meters to like centimeters or something, because I can't remember exactly, because I hardly ever do it, but I think you had to like do it times 3 zeros or something. Really? Everything we buy at the store is measured in kilograms or liters? Wait, are you from Canada? No, you're from the States. I can't remember that. Isn't it fluid ounces and stuff? Oh, yeah, exactly. Because I have like a couple Starbucks mugs, and I always get annoyed because it only says like fluid ounces on there, and I'm like, how many milliliters is this? I don't want to know. I want to know how many milliliters this is. Anyway, first world problems, I guess, but I feel like I don't know. I guess we haven't cooked enough in the States to actually remember what it says on the packages. We've only gone from hotel to hotel, so. You're thinking you're so derogatory about the States. You're like the opposite of a super patriot. Miles an hour sounds really weird. Like 60 miles an hour. I'm like, geez, are you like a snail? But then that means, wait, 60? No, 100 miles an hour. How much is 100 miles an hour? 100 miles per hour. Is, oh yeah, that's fast. So 60 miles. 60 is the standard, right? 60 miles an hour is 96 kilometers an hour. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's not slow, but like the standard on Dutch highways, I have to say, is like 100 to 120. So that would be 120 kilometers an hour, 75 miles an hour. That's like the standard in Holland for like highways. Yeah, I remember being a little worried about about driving in the States because I was like, how do I know how fast I have to go because everything is in miles and I don't understand miles. But of course, it just helps that there's like miles an hour on the traffic signs, and then there's miles an hour on your dashboard. So just follow that, and you'll be fine. We felt like driving in Japan would have been kind of tough because there's like you can't even recognize names. Like if you're saying like I'm going to, I don't know, Hiroshima, then it's like, okay, I'm looking at the signs. I have no idea which one says Hiroshima just because the letters are so different. That was like super weird. We use our Translate app so much. another thing that was really funny. I don't know how tall you guys are. Speaking of like inches and centimeters and stuff. But my husband is like 192. Which is help. 0.92 excuse me. 1.92 meters in feet. 6 foot hold. Yeah, so he's 6'3". Is that right? I think so. Yeah. So anyway, pretty tall. And I'm also like 172. Which is, you know, not like super duper tall, but for a Japanese person. That's pretty tall. So one day we were like in this mom and pop shop. Like we just had breakfast and they were like their English is you know, sometimes it's really good. Oftentimes, you're kind of like doing the hands and feet thing. So eventually like we had finished our breakfast and they were like, "Where from?" So we said "Oranda" because that's, you know, Holland in Japanese, and they were like, "Oh," and they made like this motion with their hands like, "You're so freaking tall," and she, you know, with like the woman who served us, I think she literally was like 2 heads shorter than my husband. So I was like, yeah, you know, if he sat down, like his knee almost came to her hip. It was so funny sometimes how tall we were in that country. Like everything, like sometimes his feet were just sticking out of the bed just because they never like took into account like someone who could possibly be that tall. He definitely bumped his head a couple times. Like one time it was really nasty. He actually got like a head wound. Oh, hold on. So the dresser project, like it's done. I'm just waiting for like all the logistical stuff with like third party people. So right now, I would like to wait for Itch because I'll like give everybody a download key to download it on Itch. I didn't want to like force everybody to like have an Itch account, so I want to just like send out the download keys through email. But that does mean that I need to like have my email verified by them manually. So I sent them an email, and I'm waiting for a response. If that takes too long, then I will be sending out the download keys manually. So it will be like another day at most, and then I'll be like sending out links to everybody. So yay! And then it's like done and on to the next one. Hold on, let me take a break because my computer's whining at me. I will be right back. Well, I mean, so I just did a lot of prep work before actually launching the Kickstarter. So I didn't want people to be waiting for ages for the product after it actually got funded. So I mostly had to wait for Kickstarter to come through and now for itch to come through to actually, be able to like deliver stuff. So I'll probably be doing the same for like the next pack, unless I want like a lot of community input, but I'll have to like think about how I want to structure that. Okay, now I'll really be right back. Oh, and like one more thing about the Kickstarter thing. It was fast, but I think it felt a lot faster because I did like a 2-week campaign instead of like a month-long campaign, which seems to be kind of the standard. But I was glad I did 2 weeks because I really felt like I was getting fatigued and started to like repeat myself a lot for the campaign after the 2 weeks were up. So I really felt like it was time to like wrap it up and get all the pledges in, because the curve for like the whole Kickstarter was a lot happened in like the first 24 48 hours or something, and then the final 24 hours, and in between almost nothing happened. So I don't think it would have really been worth it to keep going for another 2 weeks, just because it would have been like a lot of hours and a lot of effort on my part for barely any result probably. So it's fine the way it was. And my goal for like this Kickstarter was to have like something like short and sweet, something that was easy enough to fulfill. That's why I didn't want to do anything physical either, because I knew that, or I knew that doing any physical rewards would have like a very great risk of bogging me down, just because of all the hassle that comes with that and all the extra paperwork and that kind of stuff. So this was like really for me to see what happened with the Kickstarter, or what would happen, how people would respond, what it takes to do a Kickstarter. Like also it was also a learning experience for me. So I actually plan on like doing some kind of like article on doing a Kickstarter later. Just like doing a little write-up of my experiences and things that I might have learned that I had not seen. Because I did read up on like running a Kickstarter. But I feel like there might be some things still that I haven't really seen mentioned in these articles that I might be able to add. So I might do like a short write-up of that, just in case it helps somebody else. But yeah, it was a nice way to like get my feet wet and see what it entailed. Oh, sure. I've, but I don't think, so when my newsletter started, it used to be like a newsletter for creators. So I was doing like all kinds of articles on like, for like self-pub artists, or self-publishing authors, like, what would happen, just like explaining the process of like commissioning an artist to them, or, for creators, like how they could, work together with clients more efficiently, or make sure that they like having like things clearly signposted so there's no miscommunication, and how to set an hourly rate and that kind of stuff. But I felt like I wasn't really getting any feedback from it. So eventually I just ran out of subjects to write about, because it was like a monthly thing, and eventually I was just kind of like racking my brains for like, what the heck do I write about now? And there was no community input, so it wasn't really. I was like, I don't really know how to make this go on. But then how it went, like a debrief thing for my newsletter, it would be interesting for the creators, but not really for the people, who are just interested in the final products. So I feel like for the target audience that I have right now for my newsletters, which is people who want to stay updated on either my commissions or like my general fantasy art or Netherrealms, it wouldn't be like a super interesting newsletter thing. But I do still have those creators on a separate list, so I might just like send out an email, like a one-time email, like, hey, because I know you're interested in this kind of stuff, so here's a new thing I wrote, and then just send it out that way. So yeah, I think I'm like constantly considering like, oh, what could be a good lead magnet for my newsletters, but a lot of people do have like a kind of, I almost want to say like aversion to email on principle, I guess. So they don't even want to like consider it as, as a medium to stay updated, just because they're so used to getting like the nasty ass emails in their inbox. And apparently they can't manage to like make a peaceful space within that inbox for, like cool newsletters. So yeah, that's a shame, but it's been tough to like convert people to actual newsletter subscribers. I do feel like I've hit a little wall there, though I'm not sure what would happen if I did another commission giveaway or something. Yeah, like email newsletters, but also just like I feel like a lot of people get like updated with, I don't know, messages from their landlord or like bills or that kind of stuff, like that all comes through in email, especially as we're like moving to, at least that's it for like, I hardly get any physical mail anymore. I get it all in like through email, which is fine by me because it, it makes it really easy for me to actually refer back to everything as I, if I'm like searching for something like, oh, when did I get my last energy bill or whatever, I can just like type in the name of that thing and then the date will come up instantly instead of me having to hope that I didn't misplace any letters that I got from them. So I prefer it that way, but apparently, a lot of people have a very different relationship with their email inbox, which again, like, I can understand considering the topics that end up there, but the cool thing about email is that you can like create a separate space for like newsletters, or for the newsletters that you do want to see, the newsletters that you don't want to see. It can all go in separate folders, so that's what I do, at least. Everything just gets filtered into its own place, so I don't have to look at it all at once, because that would overwhelm me too. But yeah, I really hope that like the tide will kind of turn, because I do feel like a lot of people are changing their minds, moving back to newsletters, moving to newsletters in the first place. So we'll see what happens in time, and in the meantime, I'll just be preaching about it here, and giving giving people my reasons for using it and hoping that they kind of agree at some point. Whoops. I think I will resketch that hand really quickly because it's annoying me. I guess you could do that with a Patreon, but I'm not really seeing like a bunch of people jumping on. I mean, it's different for like a lot of people because a lot of people are getting a lot of income from Twitch subs, but I haven't really seen people like really enthusiastically jump on any subscription thing. For me, so, but you know, like honestly, I started the streaming thing to not be behind a paywall and to like keep it really low key and that kind of stuff, because I feel like I'm not able to be consistent enough with streaming or with like video content in the first place, because like making video content is like super hard for me. It takes so much energy out of me compared to like making an image or making a piece of art or whatever. So I don't feel like I would be able to do anything with paid video content unless it were like some kind of tip jar. It's the same with it's the same deal basically for me with the D&D art packs. Honestly, like I've thought about if I could make like a Patreon for the D&D art packs work, but I don't. I wouldn't at this point. I wouldn't be able to like commit to dedicating a set amount of hours to the D&D art packs every month, unless I decide to not do Netherrealms anymore. You know, it's like, it's really, at this point, there's not enough income for me to not pick and choose. So yeah, it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing, you know, I think for a lot of people, because kind of like you want to be consistent so people feel comfortable like actually parting with their hard-earned money to support you. But then again, and on the front end, you'd have to like invest so much time that's going to take away from taking on commission work or working a side job so you're actually able to make the ends meet or something. So it's a bit of a pickle if you don't have like enough of an income to begin with. so bleak being an artist right now, isn't it? It's so, there's like a lot of choices to make in that regard. An AI company CEO? Like not OpenAI, right? What happened? And was it like where the thing where Mark Zuckerberg had to like come and, was that in front of like Congress or whatever, that he had to like justify whatever he was doing? Was it the same kind of thing? Oh. Oh yeah, because Napster was found illegal, right? Or illegal, like, yeah, because you're not allowed to do anything peer to peer. Oh, Midjourney, jeez, okay. Do you think they're gonna like have any repercussions or fines, or that was some kind of like precedent was set? Yeah, I don't really like really quickly see the parallel in the sense that the argument is that you're generating something new, right? You're not really sharing but you're sharing, I guess you're like using and sharing images without permission, I guess. Oh, okay. Wow. I'm surprised to hear that they're actually like doing something with it already. That's I find that positive news, I guess. I'm not sure how long it will take to actually make the laws, but Oh, okay. And say stealing. Yeah, I'm really curious how they're gonna like frame everything in the end. Because I mean, like, technically it's not stealing. It's just really, it's just. I think that's the hard part. Like, it's such a gray area. It's so. It's just like highly unethical, and it's like impacting a lot of working people right now. So. Eh. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Let's see if we're still around by that time. I mean, they're concerned about like voters, I take it, and the voters are. I'm guessing they would need to like save face and pretend that they care about voters in some, or pretend they care about workers in some way. In the end, right? I mean, we have the same problem here in Holland, where, at least in my opinion, where the coalition is like led by a party that's more in favor of businesses than actual workers. But yeah, I don't know. Let's hope something comes of it. At least I hope that if they don't care about workers, that they'll see that it's impacting a lot of businesses, and with that, a lot of their tax money. So they better fix it if they want more tax money. Because that's one thing that artists don't do well, I think. We fail to. I mean, I get it, because like I was gonna say, like, we fail to present ourselves as businesses, which we are. Like, we're a business. But on the other hand, if I'm gonna be like all business like towards you guys, then that's not gonna, like, form the kind of relationship that we both want out of our communication. So it's kind of a pickle for artists in that regard. But I do feel like they do need to be more aware of the fact that they could position themselves as in a position of power, I guess, as a business. But yeah, easy for me to say, I guess. Because I'm actually, the way I said like easy for me to say is because I'm actually coming from like a too business like perspective and trying to actually be more casual. Do you feel like that actually, do you get a response, Rick, when you like write to your Congress people? They like, it never, it's not a phrase that we use here in Europe. Like, what's the phrase? Like, contact your congressperson. It's not really something that we do. I guess we just vote once every 2 to 4 years, and we go on strike sometimes. Though that's been mostly a thing of the past year, I guess. Oh, an email poll is kind of nice. So you're actually like on an email list? Honestly, at the end, I would hope to like. I would love to one day go on strike with like a lot of artists, like just going totally blackout, putting our social media profiles on private, like not having any visuals or any like typesetting or whatever in newspapers, even just like, you know, have the world without art for like a day and then see how everybody manages. Take away all the traffic signs because they're also designs. Nobody's allowed to use them anymore. Yeah, I'd love to do that, like something like that one day. Interesting. So even Congress people have email lists. We traveled like Japan with a backpack. So we didn't like have a lot of extra luggage space to actually bring a lot of stuff back. But I did like get some chopsticks, just like really pretty. At one point, we walked into like a store, and they had like a wall full of chopsticks, and like they had guides with them with like how grippy they were, how long they were, how easily washable, and something else. So we got one set from that wall, and I got like some Ghibli sets, and one with from Fuji with like bunnies on them. And then we also, because it was like our wedding anniversary on the day we flew back from I was gonna say the States, from Japan to back home. So the travel agency that we booked with, they got us some chopsticks, which were like waiting for us at the hotel when we got there, on the at the final destination. So that was sweet. And we got You know the tsum tsums, like the Disney, like really, like basically like spheres with some features on them which represent like Disney characters. We got one of those, but then with like the deer in Nara, they all like they bow when you give them a cookie, or like before, so you will give them a cookie. And so we got one of those tsum tsums with like a deer with a cookie in their mouth, which is super cute. And one tip that I got from an artist called Venrin was like to get a temple book. So I got like a temple book when we were in Tokyo, and then at each temple you can get some calligraphy from the temple that you're actually at for like a couple hundred yen. So with, you know, any temple that I could, I got some calligraphy in there, which is nice because now I have a book full of calligraphy with all the places that we visited in Japan. So that's pretty cool. But that's, and I wanted to take one manga book just because they were like 400 yen. Yeah, that's what we brought back. But if we had a suitcase, then I would have probably put in more. But I didn't dare to because I was so scared that stuff would like break and stuff. Hold on, Congress people post on Reddit? Oh, that's so funny. Honestly, I mean, that's why artists should love email lists, because they can talk to, you know, their audience without needing Twitter or social media or whatever. Like, there are like, mostly positive sides to this. I get so frustrated, like, please people, please get it, how convenient it is for basically everyone involved. Jeez, I didn't realize. That's kind of, I mean, I think I heard someone who actually emailed like a politician here. And I feel like a lot of people do, because I do feel like I've heard politicians say like, oh, I'm really busy talking to, or like answering all the emails in my inbox. I guess it's mostly for people who are like really politically active or something. Like, it's not really that's mentioned at like, you know, I don't know, birthdays or during campaigns, like contact your Congress people. So I'm not actually sure who actually talks to our politicians, except for people who like actively look up an email address. Kind of taking my time with this answer, aren't I? Oh well. I guess it shows that I have to get into it still. But that's okay. I know, it's, oh man, I still love the Hades music. Like the previous one, I'm not sure what it's called again, but what was it again? Is this like a random? Isn't it random? I think it was like of the Dead or something that we were just listening to, but it's like really my get shit done music. Like put that on and you're just like blasting through everything. You know, you do hear. What was my train of thought on this? I can't remember. I think I was thinking back to your question, Rick, about like cool toys and stuff. I had expected the Japanese cities to be like more overwhelming. But the only time when I felt really overwhelmed was when we walked into like one type of or one Japanese store, which was like a warehouse. And that was like text everywhere, products everywhere. Like I had no idea where to look and, you know, how the store was structured and that kind of stuff. Like that was really overwhelming. But honestly, like compared to what I had expected, I found Japan very manageable in terms of like impressions. So maybe I just saw like the wrong stuff, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. By the way, do you guys have like any other favorite film or game music? Because I can add that too. I used to have this one like Zelda remix album that I used to listen to a lot. Not sure if I'll be able to find it again, but it was more like a hard, well, not hardcore, but kind of like, you know, that like kind of like trancey hardcore kind of style remix of Zelda. It was fun. It wasn't hardcore because I don't listen to hardcore. Like that's way too much for me. But wait, what was the right stuff a reaction to? Because I missed it. Oh, to the right stuff was that a response to the Japan thing? I think there's some Hans Zimmer on. Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe we did see the right stuff. I still feel like, oh man, I still feel like we missed out on a lot of stuff. Like Kyoto was the one thing where we definitely didn't get to do all the stuff that we wanted to. Otherwise, I feel like we did get to a lot of things on like my list, because my husband doesn't make lists. I do. I always do. Yeah, I would say Tokyo and Kyoto, like we missed a couple things that I would have liked to see. But otherwise, I feel like it was a lot every day. But I did feel like we get to see everything that there kind of was to see that was interesting for us. Doom. Hold on. Let's listen to a couple of those, because doesn't really strike me as. But I only play like the first Doom when I was like 15. No, earlier. 10. That's not music. Hold on. There we go. Oh, okay. This kind of stuff. I could do this for like short periods of time, I think. Like if I really want to get stuff done, then I would do this. Then I could listen to this, but not if I were like just driving a car or something. I would get road rage. Also, looking at me listening to this. Have you guys ever seen? Yeah, that's true. Oh, what's the? Oh gosh, what's this? There's like this series on Netflix where it's with Christina Applegate, where she's like just like a housewife. No, not a housewife. She's a realtor. But anyway, she's like super. Well, she looks like suburbia, But then she gets to the car. She sits in her car and she listens to like this kind of stuff, or like like grunge metal and that kind of stuff. So if I were listening to this, I kind of feel like her, because I'm so vanilla compared to a lot of artists. Oh yeah, I can imagine that this can be helpful for coding. Though honestly, like I don't know, after a couple minutes, this would overwhelm me. But it's not like there's no lyrics, so I wouldn't be able to like work with text like coding. If there were like a lot of lyrics in music. So that I get. Okay, after this song, we're listening to some Persona 5, and then we're going for... I think there's some Hans Zimmer, in my streaming list. Right? Where is it? Whoops. Go away. There must be. Yes, there is. Yes. John Williams. That sounds like, if I search for like John Williams, will I be able to like find some stuff on Spotify? It sounds like such a name that like a million people would have. Oh, really? Okay. Good to know. Then I know what to search for. If this was like, if this was my whole introduction to you, Yithian, like this music, then I would now picture you with like long hair and a beard, and a black t-shirt, and some kind of metal band on it. Okay, hold on. Next one. Persona 5. Wait, what's... Is that the same kind of... No. Oh, this is like completely different. Which is funny, like my list can also like be totally all over the place. Like I have Ukrainian music on there from the song festival, but also like French, but also like hard rock on there, that kind of stuff. It's really cool. Like I really feel like you can get to know a person through their music. I'm glad I asked this question. No, I'll just go through this break because I will be leaving at 5, which is in about 20 minutes, because I have my mother-in-law's birthday to get to. Man, this music is so groovy. Persona 5. Is that like anime or a movie? Is it like a series or a movie? Is it really well known? And now are you guys being like... Do you not know Persona 5? Oh, is that... No. What game are those? There's like 1 or 2 characters in like black Lolita outfits with like white hair. Isn't that also like Persona or something? Really popular. Okay, I'm clearly not in the niche. Is it fun though? What's the series about? Sounds kind of fun. I'll have to entertain myself with something else than games for a couple of weeks since I'm sending away my Joy-Con soon. So I'll have to wait for that drift to get repaired before I can do more gaming. And using that power to change the world by defeating adults who abuse their power to hurt people. Isn't that always the case though? With like when you're like trying to explain anime or like those kinds of stories to someone, like Naruto is about like a bunch of people living in a ninja village, and then they have like all these kinds of powers and stuff. Like, how do you explain that stuff to people? It really is an art to like write a pitch for this kind of stuff. I'll see if I can like stream it somewhere here in Europe. Since all those rights are different from the States anyway. Hold on, what's the most played? 22,000 plays. Oh god, there's 2 discs. $3 billion plays. 22 million plays. Is this like the theme song? Since it's like the most popular. Oh, Bear McCreary is Outlander. That's cool. The victory music. Okay. That makes me think of like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, where they have like a battle every episode. Oh, really? Where do you like? How do you find out about those thoughts, Rick? Is it like, does he have like documentaries, or does he keep a blog or something? So he could also like articulate his thoughts well. I guess that's another skill in itself, right? I feel like a lot of people have like thoughts behind, why they do what they do. But some people are just so bad at articulating that where you're kind of like, so why did you do it that way? And they're like, I don't know, just felt right. Can you imagine like giving an interview like that? I guess that's one of the prerequisites of like being a well-known artist, right? That you have to like be able to voice your thoughts well in that sense. Either that or you have to like have the gimmick of being a recluse or something. Oh, cool. Yeah, I always get this weird vibe about like people who are like super good at what they do, but then they're kind of like, yeah, I don't really care about the end product. I just do what I do and people like it and then whatever, I'll look it up. Sounds interesting. I used to like Outlander. I like the vibe still. I just don't like all the sounds like all the fighting between the couple that's in there and like all the trauma. It feels kind of overdone at one point. Like, how much trauma can you take before you actually... I think a lot of people would have snapped at that point. Just being like, fuck off. I won't do this anymore. Yeah, exactly. I feel like a lot of people felt that way. Like I said, I really love the vibe, but I felt like, I don't know, I was like almost starting to like take it out on like my husband or something. So weird. Where I was like kind of like passive aggressively like getting into arguments or whatever whenever I watched the show. So I was like, whoa, I need to stop. But hey, the music is still good, I think. Let's see. I never watched Game of Thrones just because I was still waiting for the books to come out, and I don't like to. I mean, I didn't manage to like steer clear of all the commercials and that kind of stuff. So my image of the characters got tainted anyway. But my goal when reading books is basically to like keep my own imagination of the characters. So I like to not watch a series when I'm reading a book. But yeah, I've given up on the books, to be honest. Oh, he's also done Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and God of War. No, there. Rings of Power. I still need to watch Rings of Power. have the same thing with like, no, I wouldn't say like 60%, if not more, what's on my streaming playlist right now. Like I haven't played most of the games. I just like the music. So a lot of them, at least it used to be that a lot of them were not by choice, because I cannot play first person, anything with a first person camera. I just can't. I get so nauseous that I have to like put it down after half an hour and then lie down for another half hour. I know, like that's, I was actually marveling at the same thing with Zelda, because even when like I get into confined spaces, like for example in The Witcher, like if you enter a house or whatever, then I might get nauseous if it's like too tight and the camera is like whooshing around too much. And I was just reflecting on that I don't even like, the camera is really well done in Zelda, in my opinion, because even when I'm like walking around in houses and that kind of stuff, I don't really get nauseous. But I've definitely had to put down some games, even in third person, just because they made me too nauseous. Which is, I had like one assignment in school, because I studied game design, or like game art, I should say. But we had like one or two game design courses, just because, we also had a programming course. And the assignment was to create a level for Unreal Tournament, which is first person, which sucked ass, because I had to play it a lot to like, actually know what the game was about. So yeah, that like, I think eventually I just asked someone to help me out and like basically create the level for me, because I was so bad at like playtesting the whole thing. I have one game where I actually struggled through it just because I loved the game so much, which was Mirror's Edge. Like every couple, every half hour or something, I would just hand off the controller to one of my roommates, and lie on the couch for an hour and just like kind of like watch them play with like my eyes half closed, and then be like, okay, I'm okay again. Give me back the controller. Right? It was so pretty. Like I loved the high key aesthetic of it all. It was just so good. Okay, let me finish these couple lines and then I need to bugger off. Did I get everything? No, I didn't. It's like I actually have to turn off a layer to see if I forgot anything, and then like half the character disappears. All right. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye for this week because I need to go. So thank you guys for keeping me company. I really appreciate it. Thank you for talking to me about like your favorite games and music and that kind of stuff. And listening to me rave about Japan. Whoops, what did I do? I hit a shortcut. So yeah, I'll be back next week just inking more stuff, and hopefully before these 2 pages run out, I'll have penciled more pages so we can move right on to inking more pages. Maybe. I'll try. So, yeah. See you next week. Thanks for hanging out.